G'day everyone, what is going on? It is your favorite producer from Down Under, Jhin, back with another video. And in this one, I'm going to be deconstructing the song of mine Tropicana, which is available on my most recent EP, The Story So Far. If you want to listen to that one, Spotify link to it in the description. If you are new here though, would greatly appreciate it if you do punch that subscribe button for me. And while you're at it, you may as well flick that little bell so you get notified every single time that I upload a video. Friendly reminder that I do stream live over on Kick, so if you do want to catch the shenanigans live, would greatly appreciate it if you follow me over there too. Recently it's been a lot of Overwatch, music making, and seeing my life savings dwindle as I open CSGO cases. But with that one being said, let's get into FL Studio and let's deconstruct this track. Okay, so here we are inside of FL Studio, and like majority of my tracks, we have kept this one really simple. 4 melodic, 1 bass, and a really simple drum pattern. Now we are working at the BPM of 85 in the key of F sharp major. Yes, for the first time ever, I have actually made a track in a major key. Massive shock, mainly due to the fact that I wanted this one to be uplifting and happy. But the first instrument that we use comes in from Arcade, and this one is the beachside marimba. Now the pattern with this one is honestly really simple. It may look complicated, but once I break it down, you would honestly understand how simple it is. Now, given the fact that we are working in the key of F sharp major, it makes sense that our first chord just so happens to be F sharp major. Now, it may look a little bit complicated, but if I grab this A sharp, drag it across, and grab this C sharp, drag that one across, as you can see, we now have an F sharp major triad. We just studded it out a little bit just to give it a little bit of rhythm. Then for the top line, we have this F. I could have bumped that one up and have it F sharp stay the same as the root note, but I wanted to add a little bit of tension, and F is also in the key of F sharp major, so it just made sense to me. We then go down to this C sharp, down to the A sharp, and we end the first part on this C sharp here. Going on to the next chord, this one is a D sharp minor. Now, if I was to grab this F, bump you across, and this A sharp and bump you across, as you can see, D sharp minor triad. We just kept it really simple. Same stutter effect with this one, but the top line is actually D sharp, the same as the root note, mainly due to the fact that there wasn't that semitone change to give it that, dark, suspenseful feeling. We then go down to the A sharp yet again, end it on F sharp and G sharp. The next chord does get a little bit funky. That's mainly due to the fact that if we grab this F and bump you across, and this A sharp and bump you across, and we bump that one down, we actually have an A sharp minor chord, but we inverted this A sharp here and bumped you up. Now it still works given the fact that the root note is C, and we do have C in this middle chord here. Top note yet again is also C. Same stutter effect like the last 2 chords as well though. So as you can see, it goes C sharp, F, A sharp, to the C sharp, down to A, ending it on F, and down onto C sharp yet again. The final chord in this pattern is actually a D sharp, but yet again, we have done something a little bit different. If we bump that one down, we now have a B major chord. But yet again, this B has been inverted up. Same stutter effect as all previous chords, and as you can see, we go D sharp to F sharp to B, up to the D sharp yet again, down to B, F sharp, ending on to the A sharp. That gets copied and pasted over one time to make the full pattern, and in context, it sounds like so. We kept it really simple. It's just a nice bouncy pattern. Going on to the effects with this one, we have a Valhalla vintage verb come in, mixes on 35%, pre-delay 9.69, nice, and a decay of 2.12, low cut of 120 Hz because we don't want to reverb the really low end. An EQ comes in, we're actually doing like a weird curved band pass where we're getting rid of a lot of, just the really high end and a lot of the low end. We have an RVox stereo come in just to compress it because without the RVox, it actually sounded really quiet. Going on to the second element, it comes in from Arcade yet again, and this one is the Icy Keys preset from the Toys Bank yet again. The pattern with this one, honestly, just really simple. We have F sharp, down to the C sharp, up to the D sharp, up to the C sharp, down to the C sharp, to the D sharp, and then practically that just gets copied and pasted over one more time. Just really simple. I wanted something repetitive, so it wasn't, so much happening, bouncing around. I just wanted, the key melody and then just counter melodies just doing the same thing over and over, just to be used as, some background elements and not to draw your attention away. But in context, it sounds like so. Keeping it just really simple. Going on to the effects with this one, we have nothing on it whatsoever. No EQ, no compression, no reverb, no nothing, because the sound by itself actually sounded really nice. Going on to the next element, it comes in from Arcade yet again. Surprise, surprise, who would have thought? Arcade actually has some decent one-shot kits. The instrument that we are using for this one, though, is the repro keys from the Downtime Bank, and like last week's video, we are actually using it as a bass. So if we go into here, as you can see, we are just copying the root notes. F sharp, D sharp, C sharp to D sharp. That gets copied and pasted over one more time. But in context, it sounds like so. Keeping it just really simple. We didn't want to add a lot of movement to the bass because this is just supposed to be a chill, vibey sort of track. And if you have so much happening, it's going to turn into something that, people, want to dance to, where for something like this, it's just meant to be background noise. You don't want so much happening with it. Going on to the effects with this bass though, we have a sound shifter where we're pitching it down a full octave. We have our bass stereo come in where we have the intensity on -13, and then just a fruity limiter where we're actually using that to sidechain it to the kick. The next element that comes in, surprise, surprise, comes in from Arcade. Who would have thought? And this one is the Heart Flutter preset from the Downtime Bank. And the pattern with this one is honestly really simple. We have two notes, this F sharp and this C sharp. That gets copied and pasted over. But in context, it sounds like so. We honestly just kept it really simple. Yet again, we just wanted background textures. We didn't want anything that would draw the listener's attention away from what they're doing, because yet again, this is background music. Going on to the effects with this one, we have literally nothing on it. It was a really nice sound. The final instrument that we have in this comes in from Arcade yet again, and this one is the Like a Dream preset from the Downtime Bank yet again. And the pattern with this one, something really simple. A sharp, F sharp to F, having that one semitone change just to give it a little bit of tension, then going back up one semitone to the F sharp. Yet again, copied and pasted over. In context, it sounds like so. Just keeping it really simple. The effects that we have on this one, yet again, nothing on it. But every melodic element gets routed to insert 6, where we have an EQ come in, getting rid of a lot of the low end. So the Repro Keys preset has a lot of room to shine. And then a Valhalla Vintage Verb comes in where we're using the chamber mode tiled room preset, mix on 36%, pre-delay on 4, decay 0.62, and 120 Hz low cut, just keeping it really simple. Now, everything included the bass gets routed over to Insert 7, where we have an RC20 come in, where we're using the Vinyl 3 preset. We have another EQ come in, where we're just getting rid of some of the low end. Not a lot of it, just getting rid of that really low rumble. An SSL compressor comes in, where we're using that as a glue, just to make it sound like, everything is cohesive with each other. Then last but not least, an L1 limiter comes in just to control the peaks. Going on to the drums though, we have kept it really, really simple. We have this kick that comes in. We have this snare, this hi-hat, and this perk. Now, if you watched last week's video, which if you haven't, link to it in the description, I'll be leaving a card above me as well. It is the exact same drum sounds that I used. It comes from the L. Dre Park loop drum loop, and all I did was I just cut it up just so I could make my own pattern, mainly due to the fact that I liked what that loop sounded like. But if I just use the same loop over and over and over again and not make my own variations to it, it will just kind of get a bit stale and just feel like it's been overused. But I liked how it sounded, so typical sampling method, cut it up, make your own pattern. Now to fill up the blank spaces, we do have this Toy Perks loop that comes in. Just to fill up, some of the blank spaces, and so you don't actually hear how choppy the drum loop actually is. And then we do have this reverse bell effects come in. Practically just being used as a transition, but all together, this is what the drums sound like. Going on to the effects that we used for the drums, we honestly keep it really simple because nothing has an EQ on it until we get to the drum bus, where we throw on a Cymatics Origin, where we are using the gritty MPC drums, where it just gives it a little bit of saturation and just, that's practically it. There's no reel to reel, no chorus, no movement, just saturation and downsampled a little bit. Last but not least, an SSL compressor comes in, practically being used as another glue compressor like the Melody Bus, where it's just making it all sound cohesive. But yeah, that is how I made my track called Tropicana, which is available on my most recent lo-fi EP, The Story So Far. If you do want a link to that one, link to it in the description. Yet again, if you are new here, would greatly appreciate it if you do punch that subscribe button for me. And while you're at it, you might as well flick that little bell so you get notified every single time that I upload a video. Friendly reminder that I do stream live over on Kick, so if you do want to catch up with the shenanigans, would greatly appreciate it if you follow me over there. Disclaimer, this Friday I will be playing Outlast Trials, given the fact that early access should be out by then. But with that one being said, thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you all next week for another deconstruction.